Make sure you don't miss a thing. Go to starzology.com/newsletter and sign up. Welcome to the Starzology Astrology Podcast. I am your host, Alison Price, and I'm here with my good friend and co-host, Arwynne O'Neill.
Hello, Alison. It's great to be here again.
So nice to have you once more. So in this episode, we're going to be doing the February 2026 Overarch.
Yeah.
So we're going to be looking at the main astrology events for February. We're going to be looking at three main things. We're going to look at the lunations, that's the new and the full moons, and eclipses if there are any. There's a hint there. We're going to be looking at the stations where the planets change direction, and we're also going to look at the ingresses, which is when the planets are changing signs.
Right. And I think we have a couple of outer planet transits that are interesting as well. So
fantastic. We'll catch up on those. Yeah. So we'll just work through clearly from the early in the month towards the end of the month.
Sounds good.
And so just for some main highlights here, we this month we've got the Sun, Mercury, Venus entering Pisces and Saturn's moving into Aries. We're going to talk about that. We also have Uranus stationing direct and Mercury starting its retrograde period. So we'll just be discussing that. And there's going to be a full moon and our first solar eclipse. So we'll be chatting about that too.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the month starts off with a bang on the 1st. We've got the full moon in Leo.
Yeah.
And with this full moon, you can explore your feelings clearly, if briefly, and always pay attention to your gut reactions at the full moon as they reflect your true responses coming out, which are likely to be somewhat dramatic
Sounds
this
good.
month.
Yeah. And it's a full moon in Leo at 13 degrees Leo.
13 degrees Leo.
Yeah.
So if you've got any planets at 13, I don't, maybe you do, no? Or midheaven or something, nothing like that.
Not Leo. Well, actually, it's pretty near my midheaven. My midheaven is 12.
Oh, I'd say that. Oh, it's near enough, right?
It's very close, actually.
So that's a great one because that will mean the full moon will be in your 10th house, which is going to,
amazing.
Huge position for you for that one. Yeah. And then on the 4th, we've got Imbolc, which is one of the Wheel of the Year festivals, which I just generally mention these days because it's kind of become a bit of an interest of us.
Yeah, we did an episode about all the Wheel of the Year.
We did. I can put a link to that below. Yeah. And so this is the halfway point between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. And in general, it's a time of quiet renewal when the first signs of life stir beneath the surface, and traditionally linked to the Celtic goddess Brigitte.
Yeah.
Imbolc honors inspiration, creativity, and purification. And many people light candles or fires to welcome the returning sun and bless the months ahead. It's also a perfect time to clear out the old, set new intentions, and prepare for growth. Imbolc reminds us that even in the coldest season, hope is rising and new beginnings are already taking root.
Sounds amazing.
So that's kind of that midpoint there. So that's that one festival.
Yeah. On the same day, I believe we have Uranus going direct.
Do we?
Yeah. So.
We absolutely do.
Yeah.
So that's going direct at 27 Taurus I've got there.
Yep.
I'm still looking around in Taurus. So anyway, my thoughts on this are sudden insights and breakthroughs begin to flow. And after months of inner reflection, its forward motion brings change, innovation, and freedom. This shift can shake up routines and spark bold ideas. So embrace flexibility and trust new directions as the energy of awakening moves outwards once again.
Love it.
So this is the final turning point of this Uranus loitering with intent in Taurus. Yeah, good one.
Moving into Gemini very soon.
Very soon.
Yeah.
And then on February the 6th, I've got Mercury entering Pisces.
Yeah.
So this is the first of the three planets to enter Pisces. So at this point now, messages can be confusing. So be as clear as possible when Mercury enters Pisces. Misunderstandings may plague your days. Avoid making pronunciations that are wide-reaching. You do not have all the facts clear yet. Deals that seem certain may drift apart or collapse. A picture is worth 1,000 words now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is the first one moving into our sign Pisces, right? Yeah. Then on February the 10th, we've got Venus entering Pisces, the second planet to enter Pisces.
Yeah.
So this is a beautiful time to open your heart to meaningful romance. Even long-term couples may feel a gentle renewal as Venus moves into Pisces. Purchases made now could carry deeper emotional value than expected. So be generous with love and kindness, and it will return to you in time. But financial matters may feel unclear under this dreamy influence, so double check your bills, receipts, and payments to stay balanced.
Well, that's a lovely transit to begin the Valentine's Day season.
Oh,
Right?
yes.
It's happening a few days later.
And Galentine's is not to,
Yeah, of course. Yeah, right.
We should do an episode on that,
We
really. We
totally.
should.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Venus will be in Pisces. It's a dreamy placement for love. I think it's a good place for love.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure if it's a good place for money, but
For sure.
what can you do?
Buy art or something. Yeah.
Yes, and there's more intrinsic value than you thought than the actual dollar value. So I
Yeah.
think that's the interesting thing about this placement
Yes,
as well.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then moving on the 14th, I've got Saturn is re-entering Aries for the absolute final time.
Yeah.
It's been in and out. So,
Will remain for the next 2.5 years-ish.
yeah. So it's now finally crossing that Aries point, and determination meets discipline.
Yeah.
This transit marks a time for bold beginnings built on solid foundations. It encourages self-reliance, courage, and leadership, but also tests your patience and maturity. As Saturn rules time, progress typically comes through steady effort and learning to balance impulsive action with thoughtful planning for long-term success.
Love it.
So, I mean, Aries is a very active sign, and it's take the challenge, be courageous, do your thing. And now we've got Saturn in there to steady things. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's also giving a bit of fire, because the rest of the chart right now, it's very, very Aquarian and Piscean.
Yes. It's I think it's a good thing. I think these outer planets are finally now early on in this year now, they're finally moving into the signs they've been hovering about it.
For sure.
Yeah. Mm. And then on the 17th, we've got the solar eclipse in Aquarius.
Oh, right.
So this is the first solar eclipse for the year, and it's the first solar eclipse of this season. And it's going to be at 2850 Aquarius, right at the tail end, to bring fresh insights, bold ideas, and a call to embrace individuality.
Love it.
This eclipse sparks collective change and inspires new ways of thinking, connecting, and creating. This eclipse energy encourages breaking free from convention and aligning with your authentic wisdom for the future, both personally and within your community.
Yeah.
So a solar eclipse at 28 Aquarius. So if you've got planets or points at 28 Aquarius, this solar eclipse will be part of your, it will trigger your chart. And if you have the sun there, it will be part of your solar return 12-month period there, yeah? Okay, and then moving on to the 18th of February, the sun enters Pisces.
Yeah.
So as the sun begins to illuminate Pisces, there is an urge towards sacrifice and doing things to help others. Most fish will be happy and contented for the next 4 weeks, and everyone will warm towards art and music as entertainment, practice meditation, and inner work.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
So with the sun now in Pisces, if you have planets in Pisces or you are a Pisces, you're going to get a solar return or a sun transit crossing any of your Pisces planets. I don't have anything of Pisces, neither do you.
Me neither. No.
We're not quite tuning into this particular energy.
No.
So yeah.
No, it's just opposite all of my Virgo planets. So
Yeah. So you'll get all the oppositions from the sun.
right, yeah. And of course, as we know, I do that dry February thing. So yeah, it's not the most celebratory month for me,
So
unfortunately.
explain what that means for people who
yes,
don't
it
know,
means
because
that
we are in February now.
It means we don't drink alcohol all month. Yeah, which some people don't drink alcohol at all. I do enjoy a drink, but not during February. I've done this for a few years now. This, I think, will be the 5th. Yeah.
And you call it a dry February.
Dry February. Yeah, some people do sober October, but nope.
Oh.
October is way too much fun to be.
To not. But February, you can manage February.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I won't be joining you, but well done you.
Fair enough. Yeah.
All right. And then on the 20th, Saturn is conjoining Neptune.
It is, yeah. So this is a conjunction that's happened a couple times, and this is yet another. We've talked a lot about Saturn conjunct Neptune, the Saturn-Neptune cycle. I've talked about it a lot in the past. I talked about it back in 2005, actually. I did an entire talk and had a presentation on that at the Toronto Astrological Conference. And yeah, it's a really interesting cycle. There are a lot of really fascinating patterns that come and go throughout history, have to do with sort of where society comes up against these opposing forces, and because they're really opposites, Saturn and Neptune. So it's a really big, it's a big cycle. And
I think this might be the final conjunction now, because Saturn's moving forward now in Aries. We've had, I think it's 3 or 5 conjunctions, but this will be the last one, setting that synodic cycle pattern for this date.
Yeah, and it won't be conjunct again for another 36 years. So.
Yeah. So if any babies are born on this day, they've got it hard baked into their birth chart, which is kind of interesting. That we don't often talk about this, because honestly, I don't know anyone who's having a baby this year. But for our listeners who do, this is going to be that will be a hot spot in the birth chart, Saturn conjunct Neptune, because they're both outer planets. They're both superior planets. Saturn's really quite rigid and unrelenting, whereas Neptune quite loosey-goosey.
Right. And having them both conjunct at the Aries point at 0, that's crazy. That's a very auspicious sort of placement, I think.
Yeah. Interesting. So we'll see what goes down then. Yeah. Then on the 26th, Mercury's going retrograde. So Mercury goes retrograde 3 times a year, and this time it's going retrograde at 22 Pisces. So if you're born on the 12th, 13th or 14th of March, you'll find Mercury's aligning with your natal sun, and it's on the station. So it will then become a part of your solar return, which is what I was saying earlier about the other thing too. But for the rest of us, it's going to start retrograding in Pisces. And it will be that way, for the rest of the month. Into March. So my thoughts on this are, be prepared for potential challenges in communication, as text and conversations may seem to take an unpredictable turn. Expect disruptions in appointments and sudden changes to plans. During this period, you may feel a strong urge to revisit, return to, or replace people, situations, and belongings, and it's essential to stay adaptable and patient as Mercury's retrograde influence in Pisces unfolds.
Yeah, and this entire retrograde is in Pisces, is it not?
I believe so.
Yeah.
So
a lot of times it'll go back into the previous sign. Yeah. This time it's just...
It will be going direct next month, but I don't have the thing at my fingertips here, but it's so deep in at 22.
Right, it'll just be...
Yeah, probably.
In Pisces.
So it's an interesting thing, because the popular culture talks a lot about Mercury retrograde. It's the most discussed astrological thing after the main Saturn return that the general public know about.
Right.
And because there are lots of myths about Mercury retrograde. Don't buy technology, don't buy computers. And there's a lot to be said for that.
Sign contracts, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's really more about just being extra aware. And going over everything with a fine-tooth comb. And also when Mercury is in Pisces, that is already true.
Yes.
So this is just
and someone gives you their phone number and you lose the number.
Yeah.
You're looking around for this thing.
I thought they put this in my phone and you can't find it.
Yeah. So it's get the phone number, take a photo of the phone number, and then hope that you can find it when you're looking for it later, because that's the nature of Mercury in retrograde. It makes us confused about numbers and figures and contact details and people's names even. You're going to get someone's name wrong.
I like that idea, though, taking a picture of it, because that is a very Piscean workaround. It's like coming at it from a visual standpoint versus a numerical.
Yeah, if it's an important, number or important date or something or other, you want to do that. Yeah, that's a great way to deal with things. Yeah, so February is the shortest month, and actually this year it's got probably the least movements going on, least astrological events. But I always like to look at the what I call the background energy, or the broad strokes for the month, which we look at with the element, mode, and polarity, and seeing what the actual balances are. So if we go to the 1st of February, the polarity is active is a whopping 7 planets and the passive is in. So I'm only counting 10 planets. So I'm counting the Sun, not the Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and Chiron, but not the Moon. So there's 10 planets in the count. So that's what I was saying then. So on the 1st of February, active polarity has got 7 planets in it.
Wow.
And that's how we start February. And then the passive has only 3. And the elemental shift, it's strongly air at the beginning of the month, and it's leaning towards fixed.
Yeah.
So look at my numbers here. I can see now I've added 7 and 2, and I'm making 9, which is 10. But anyway, I'll fix that.
Okay.
So the idea is that we're starting off with 5 in fixed, 3 in cardinal, and 1 in mutable. And we are strongly air at the beginning of the month with 5 planets in air, 2 in fire, and 1 in earth and 1 in water.
Yeah.
So in general, this is coming up with fixed air, which is, of course, Aquarius. So not quite Pisces. But anyway, that's the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
Right. But then during March, there's a shift. So what happens is by the end of February, the polarities are now in perfect balance. We've got 5 in active and 5 in passive,
Amazing.
which is total balance.
Yeah.
The elements are also balanced now because we've got fire is 3, earth is 1, air is 2, and water is 4. So you might think, yeah, but water's got a 4. But for there to be a strength in an element, it has to be 2 more than the next best element.
Yeah.
So even though water's got 4, it's not 2 more than fire, which is 3.
Right.
Talk about splitting hairs here.
Right.
I don't know. Where are you on this? Would you say that water is a...
I mean, it feels watery. Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels a little watery.
It feels a little, maybe a bit damp.
A little damp, yeah. Damp. Not as damp as Vancouver in February.
No, well, the rain it's just nonstop. But anyway, so that's just me. So our modes are also balanced because we've got cardinal at 4, fixed at 3, and mutable at 3. So that's as balanced as 10 can be. So that's pretty much balanced as well. So there's no actual clear winner there. But so by the end of the month, it really is pretty balanced. There's no strong winner, although, I mean, cardinal's got 4 and water's got 4. You would think that would be Cancer, but because they're just so balanced, we're not seeing the influence of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. Sometimes I wonder is there any value in doing these? But I always have done these background influences.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you just look at the chart of
yes,
the ingress of, the beginning of February, it's incredibly Aquarian. And then towards the end of the month, it is quite Piscean.
It is.
It's those two.
The Sun, Mercury, and Venus just move straight out of Aquarius, all into Pisces.
Yeah.
Ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. Yeah. So we've got that going. And Mars is still there in Aquarius as well, which is not moving. Pluto is still there. Yeah. So we've got 5 planets actually in Aquarius at that time. And this is why we've got the solar eclipse there too.
Yeah.
So quite a lot going on. If you're an Aquarian, you've got 5 planets coming through.
Yeah. And then that retrograde Mercury in Pisces, that's a very Piscean sort of, that kind of takes over the vibe a little bit.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, So that is my balances overview. Okay, so moving on, we're now going to be looking at our relatively new segment we're offering here, which is the goddess of the month, the badass goddess of the month.
Yeah. And
this is from Arwynne. So over to you, Arwynne.
Yeah, so my chosen goddess of the month of February this year is Freya. Freya is a prominent Norse goddess, and she's associated with love, fertility, beauty, sex, war, magic, and gold, because she is just fiendish for gold. She has this beautiful necklace, which I am pretty sure I can't pronounce, but it's Brisinganum. Brisinganum? I don't know.
So this is from all the Scandinavian countries, is that correct?
Yeah.
It's a popular name there too, isn't it?
Freya, yeah, for sure. It means old. It means the lady in Old Norse. Yes, and she is part of a tribe of deities called the Vanir, and she has this beautiful necklace. She is also associated with Odin, And the nature of their relationship varies depending on the myth, but
Right.
sometimes she's considered his wife, sometimes otherwise. She is a warrior goddess, and she's sometimes considered the queen of the Valkyries. The Valkyries, of course, were the death maidens who would haunt the battlefield and take the most valorous dead warriors up to Valhalla to live out their afterlife in eternity, swilling ale and carousing with the.
So how did they pick them?
ladies.
How did they pick them?
Well, the men? Or,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess the ones who died the most bravely, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
It's super interesting.
Yeah. And maybe, who knows, the bit of sexual selection may have played a part, the
I'm sure.
young, handsome.
Of course, the gladiator person.
Yeah, exactly. I would think if the ladies are choosing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me give a sidebar here. So,
Yeah.
Neil Gaiman, have you read his Norse goddess? Gods?
I watched American Gods. I loved that
American
show.
Gods. Yeah. And he wrote the book, I think it's called Norse Gods.
Yeah.
I had it. I read it. It got quite grisly at times,
for sure.
and but he also refers quite a bit to Freya and of course Odin and the other guy,
Odin
the
was the
guy
main-
beginning with an L. I can't remember his name.
Loki. Odin's the main character in American Gods.
Oh, I haven't
love
seen that.
Oh, it only lasted 3 seasons. It should have been renewed.
Oh my goodness!
God, Brian Fuller just can't catch a break. He's my favorite.
Oh,
His show Hannibal. Here's a tangent, but yeah, his show Hannibal was canceled up to 3 seasons and on a cliffhanger, and
wow!
a literal cliffhanger actually.
Wow!
And then he went and did American Gods, and that got canceled too.
Oh,
And,
good heavens!
it was so good. It was so good.
So back to Freya. Do we think she's more of a Pisces type of, or more an Aquarian type, or what was your choice? Why
So
did you choose her?
There's love and beauty, which is definitely Pisces.
Okay.
And then there's also this association with war, and I mean, war is really the technological driver of the ancient world, and of course the modern world as well. I mean, so many things are invented, and so much of industry is driven by war and the creation of war machines, and the need to move masses of troops and to figure out strategy and all this stuff. So I feel like that's very Aquarian. We tend to think of Aquarian as more of a humanitarian kind of side, but we know that there is this.
They're
sort
the
of,
rabble rousers.
really, and they're all about inventing things that may or may not benefit humanity, but like, who cares? Because we're inventing stuff. We're geniuses. This is just let the chips fall where they may.
Yes.
And so I see a lot of that as well. So I think that she's got Aquarian and Piscean qualities.
Fantastic.
Yeah, but here's the best part about her.
Yeah.
She is pulled in her chariot by 2 gigantic cats.
Oh,
Yes. So
wow.
yes. And that's all I have to say about that. She's amazing. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
And have you done art about Freya?
I have.
Okay,
Yeah.
lovely.
Yeah, so we'll it's on my site. You can go to MsPink.net
Well, we'll put
and
the
find
link.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. Freya,
Yeah.
for Goddess of the month of February.
Yeah.
So with the focus turning onto Pisces this month, because the Sun is moving into Pisces, Mercury is moving into Pisces, and Venus is moving into Pisces.
Yeah.
If you have Pisces planets, you're going to get a conjunction. But Arwynne and I have 3 planets each in Virgo, so we're getting a full-blown opposition
Right.
from
And nothing in Pisces.
nothing. So we're getting the opposition to our Virgo planets, which is going to be from the Sun, Venus, and Mercury.
Yeah.
For sure, they're definitely going to be making the opposition
Yeah.
as they go through Pisces. So what are your Virgo planets then,
So
Arwynne?
I've got the Sun, Moon, and Mercury all in Virgo. The
Interesting.
Mercury is just at like 1st degree there, and then followed by the Sun, and then
the Moon, yeah.
Yeah. So they're all clustered there in my 10th house, and
So it's interesting because then the pattern will be Mercury, Sun, Moon, Mercury,
Right.
Sun, Moon. So it's,
yeah.
can I suggest what you think about, what you feel in your heart, and how you feel about it at the end.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So
everything, every transit that occurs
Is-
that
that's
hits
the
those 3
sequence.
planets.
Yes.
It's that exactly, and that's pretty much how I process things. It's the
you think it's a good idea? I think I'll do this.
analytical, and then how does this affect my my ego, my standing in the world, whatever. And then like a distant second is, how do I feel about this? How does it,
Because it won't come.
my
Because
heart. Yeah.
yes.
But yeah, I'm not. I think a lot of people feel things, more like, how does it affect their ego first, or
Yes.
or how does it affect their feelings first? And that's, we've talked about those. We talked about what was it? The sun,
the rising sequence of the
Venus.
Yes.
But yeah, it's Venus and the moon. There's a little bit of a similarity there, because it is more of like, the head, the heart, and the ego, right?
Right.
But yeah, so with anything that hits those three, yeah, it's
a challenge, right? And these are oppositions are generally external challenges. So frequently you get somebody saying, "Hey, I don't like what you think. I don't like your comment. I'm disagreeing with your words there."
Right.
And you may get a verbal challenge from the sun, Mercury, and Venus.
or however you're presenting your work in the world, or you're doing something and it's just not quite right, and you're feeling that that ego thing of like, oh, I better step up my game. I better do.
And yet you could still
work.
be because you're a writer, you still could be putting your writing content out there, but it may be sometimes contentious, and others will say, "Hey," and put it that way. Not that I'm saying people are going to argue with you.
No, that never happens. But
yeah,
I'm thinking more in terms of work, of course, because that's more.
It's a Virgo. We got these.
Exactly. I mean, when people comment on my personal blog posts and whatever, it's almost always positive. I can't remember the last time someone argued about some personal story I told, or some goddess I was writing about. Why would they? But yeah, I mean, we all have the experience of learning new things at work and having to speak in someone else's language, speaking in the voice of the corporation or whatever you're doing, because I work in communications, and that's always a thing. So yeah, I hate to anticipate that I'll come up against friction at work. That's like a deadly, terrifying thought. But yeah, as anyone who's a fan of the podcast will know, I have recently started up a new job, and yeah, I feel like there will be things that I'm learning and getting out of my comfort zone, and
you're going to be think too, too.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know recently, on a side note, you recently took quite an extensive writing course.
Oh yeah,
that stretched you quite a bit, and I think you were quite invigorated after you'd come from that.
For sure, yeah, that was a memoir writing class, and we can actually we can link to the it's Cintra Wilson, CINTRA. She's just an OG favorite writer of mine since like the 90s. She was one of the very first blogs I ever read. And she was honestly what made me want to be a writer professionally.
Really? So inspiration.
100%. I can't attribute it to anything more than her. Like I was always a writer, like in school, and I just wrote essays and things like that. I studied art in college. But then when I went off into the working world, and I, would be bored at my whatever administrative job that I had, and poking around on the internet, when I found her words inspired me so much to just like suck the marrow out of every sentence and really just make things my own. And yeah, I ended up finding her online like last year at some point and taking a memoir writing class from her, which I did not understand. I didn't know what to expect, and I just kind of threw myself into it. Yeah, and it was great. It was a 5-week course.
Inspirational.
Yeah. And really ended up writing about things that I didn't expect to write about. And it was great.
Yeah. So, maybe something in that vein coming your way too, right? Yeah.
Totally. So what planets in Virgo are these Pisces things opposing in your chart?
So first up, I've got in Virgo, I've got Pluto. So they're going to hit Pluto first, and then it's Mars, Venus. Mm-hmm. So, it's a tough one. Pluto's getting triggered, and we're going deep, and I might push back or have to kill something off. I might finally get the message that some activities I'm working on has got to now die because I have a lot on my plate.
Right.
Not only with the podcast and everything, but other creative projects.
Yeah.
And maybe something there really does have to come to an end, or what do they say? Sunset something.
Right.
Which is, I'm not quite sure yet how that's going to work, but there might be something because we're definitely into February. I'm doing some serious stuff with, as I say, that I've got working through a college in London, and that I'm hoping is going to be coming to its termination. Let's put it that way.
Oh gosh.
So there'll be that too. That'll be the sun will be opposing all the Pluto and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And then it will get onto Mars. And I don't know, I'll get some. I always think that when my Mars gets triggered, I think, let's do this and let's do it now.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to do this new art piece, or I think I need to write a book about this. And I'll just plunge right in.
Yeah.
And I'll say, well, I'll get a journal and I'll make some notes and I'll get some broad headings and I'll flesh out an outline. And that's my Mars at work saying, I want to talk about this and this and this and this.
And you have Mars in Virgo. So, of course, there's an outline in the journal. And
there absolutely is. And I've got subheadings. I've got 15 chapters and I'm going to talk about X, Y, Z. And I do have a project that I'm lining up for 2026. And by the time we get to, this February, I may or may not decide to push harder on that once I've let something die, you see. We've got to make room for the...
Yeah, pruning off the dead leaves so that new growth can shoot out.
Flourish, yes, because life is a process. You don't just continuously repeat one year after the next. There's other creative projects that I love. A project that's Virgo, and but I can only do so much in my week. I couldn't get up earlier, but so I think something has to die or be let go of, or what's the word? Sunset it and let it to be bereave it out on the Pluto.
Yeah.
And then by the time it gets to the Mars, because there's 10 degrees between the two planets, then I can say, okay, now I'm free, and this is the project I want to sink my teeth into for the rest of the year. There's one thing I'm really on my back burner, which I just don't have the bandwidth for to deal with at the moment. But probably as the sun, Mercury and Venus come through and challenge, that will be the Mars, I would think.
Yeah.
And then three days later, I've got the Venus. So hopefully I'm going to love it.
Yeah. I love that.
I'll keep you posted.
Yes, so you better. That sounds really cool.
Yeah, but it's just a cycle of life that something has to die or be got rid of to make room for the next thing to flourish.
For sure.
So, and I'm talking about my creative life, really. I'm not going to go around and kill the cat, but... It really is that, isn't it? That you've got to make room for, I cannot be doing this now. Enough with that. It's not going anywhere. I'm done with that thing.
Yeah.
And move on to something else.
Yeah.
So, but being very fixed, I find it difficult to make that transition. But during this time, February is always a challenge because of the oppositions, all those oppositions. Yeah.
Yeah. That's really interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so we have been doing the February Overarch for 2026. We've spoken about planets changing signs, planets changing directions, the new moons, the full moons, the eclipses. Well, the new moon and the eclipse is the same thing. We've been talking about that. We've also been introduced to our Goddess of the Month, Freya, which is super interesting, and you can certainly dig out more. And there's links below this episode for you to go and check out more information on the Goddess of the Month with Arwynne's site. And we've also been looking at some of the challenges that Arwynne and I personally will be affected, because we don't have planets in Pisces. It doesn't mean nothing's happening, because it's challenging all our Virgo. Yeah. So that's the thing. And you need to know, where are your planets and where's the sun and how is it going to be?
Exactly.
So this is a particular month where every year in February, we've got the same challenge coming through, but we just happen to be exploring it a little further this time. Yeah. So if you found value in this episode, please do consider sharing it with anybody who would be interested. Make sure you're getting our newsletter, and you can sign up at starzology.com/newsletter, because if you are on the newsletter, you will get a better deal on my astrological services, readings and consultations. Make sure you're getting Arwynne's newsletter, and you can find Arwynne at...
I'm at mspink.net, mspink.net, and I send out my weekly newsletter every Saturday morning.
Fantastic. Yeah. So thanks so much for everyone for listening, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Thanks so much for getting this far through the episode. I just want to take a moment to tell you about the two main options of my astrology services. So the first one is coaching. If you are an aspiring astrologer, and by that I mean someone who's perhaps a hobbyist astrologer, or someone who's learning astrology, or a student, or you've got a few books and you've been doing it for a while, but perhaps you need a little bit of help to bring it all together, then maybe getting some astrological coaching from me would be the answer for you. The astrology coaching I offer is a 1-hour session on Zoom, and it's tailored to answer your particular questions. For example, if you have issues with natal chart readings, we can go there. Or if you're having problems working with your forecasting, we can go there. Or even basic astrology stuff, or even getting yourself organized for your astrology business. The idea is that astrological coaching will answer your particular questions. It's tailored specifically to you and where you are in your astrological journey. And I'm happy to help you out with some guidance about how you can get going, what to focus on, and what to dismiss. So that would be the astrological coaching for people trying to learn astrology. The second astrological service I offer is consultations. So this is for someone who perhaps doesn't know anything about astrology, but they just want to have their chart read or get their chart done. Call it what you will. So once more, this is a 1-hour consultation over Zoom. I will interpret your chart, tell you about the main features, tell you about where the energy is flowing, and all the rest of what is entailed in a thorough natal chart interpretation. I can also add in some forecasting in there too, bearing in mind we only have 1 hour. So just in summary, I've got coaching for people who want to learn astrology, and I've got consultations for those who want to get an astrology reading done. I'm Alison Price from Starzology.com. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.